All right, thank you for coming. I'm here with special guest Alan of My Game Balls and my usual co-host Noah. Unfortunately, we don't have Pat or Austin or Yankees man here tonight. We decided to go smaller as we have some fun and interesting topics we're going to talk about. First, Noah, how did you get into ball hockey? Because I know both you and I started last year. Just to give Alan
Yeah,
one of us.
yeah. Last year was my first year doing it. I heard about Zach Campbell probably like everyone did when he got the A-Rod catch, but then I really didn't start thinking of getting into it until last year when I went to a couple games, got like 2 balls. I was like, hey, let's see how I can do, and it just went from there. And by the end of the year, I was putting up like 9 a game at Rogers Center. How about you?
For myself, I basically same thing. I saw the whole Zach Campbell and A-Rod catch. Did some research on him, watched videos, got into it. Also realized that Jays were using the 40 season commemorative ball. I thought that was pretty cool, and I was desperate for one. So I thought maybe going to more games would help me get one because I didn't think going to one game would help me get one. Did some research on it, and just continued doing it. Went to games and fell in love with it. And for me, the thrill of finding a commemorative ball in batting practice from the past season is what keeps me going. You never know. It's like I feel like if I can find that commemorative ball, it's like hitting a jackpot. I know Noah got lucky last year in a playoff game he got a Houston ball from 2015.
Yeah,
So
cool.
that kind of like gets me going. Maybe I can get one from last season, this season. So that's why it got me going. Alan, what made you create the whole My Game Balls and balls kind of site, or like what got you started with this?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Northern Virginia, and I was an Orioles fan growing up. So I didn't go to a ton of games growing up, probably, 2 or 3 per year. And I never really showed up early enough to even go to batting practice and try to catch balls. It probably wasn't even until I was in high school maybe where it was the first time where I showed up early enough to actually see batting practice and see balls going into the crowd and say, hey, that looks pretty cool to try to go out and try to get some balls and that kind of thing. So I actually didn't get any balls when I was in high school or college. It wasn't until actually I started the site when I caught my first ball. So
how long ago did you start the site?
It was 2009. So
not even
2009 period. Like you guys came across Zach Campbell. For me, it was just kind of a random Googling around and happened to find his blog. Ended up spending a couple weeks just kind of being obsessed with reading his blog, and I was just really entertained with all of his entries about how he was, snagging, 10, 15 balls in various games. So during that 2-week period, I probably read every entry that he had in there. So it was during that period that I came up with the idea, but the original idea was not what it became. The original idea was just to create something for Zach that he could use to keep track of his stats easily without having to, kind of manually add up different statistics and numbers and that kind of thing. So originally I was just going to create a little program that Zach could use to enter his stuff in, and I was just going to send it to him and say, hey, here's an idea. Maybe you could use this, post it on your blog, and have another tool to show people your stats. But in the process of developing it and staying in tune to Zach's blog, I kind of realized that there was more people out there than just Zach who did this kind of thing. So when I put the site together, I decided to, instead of making it just for Zach, to make it a general purpose site where anybody can go in there and create an account and log their balls. Still, I was only expecting maybe 20 or 30 people to be out there who were serious enough to create an account on the website and do this kind of stuff. I did not have any idea that it would continue to grow and grow and grow and have hundreds of accounts, hundreds of people, across the country doing this. But, like I said, it just kind of started out small and then grew and grew and grew to where we are now.
So, what are your thoughts on how much it's grown over the past, I guess, last year and a half, 2 years, especially since the whole Zach and A-Rod event?
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's yeah, definitely encouraging. It's been pretty steady growth. It's a little bit different than what you would find on other sports websites or hobby websites or whatever, because there is a good deal of I guess you would call it turnover, where people join the site, they're really into it for 4 or 5 years, and I don't know if it's either burnout or they just got other interests come up, and so they kind of drop off. So
it is a big commitment. Like I personally don't know how Zach does it, because I don't know, after this year I'm not like school career coming up, so I don't know how I'm going to juggle that too. Like I want to still try and attend as much games as I can, but I get the point of dropping off and coming back in.
Yeah, so. Exactly. So the overall growth is not, it doesn't kind of explode every year. It's kind of like, you know, any given, you know, like let's say a month, you might have 10 people join the site in the month, but you might have, you know, 3 or 4 people that kind of drop off and quote unquote retire from ball hawking. So it's kind of that where we've got steady growth, but you've got people dropping off too. So it's just kind of over the 7-year period, you know, we've gone from just a handful to, you know, hundreds of accounts. So I expect it to kind of keep that consistent, steady growth from here.
How many games do you attend personally each year, or like what is your goal? What do you try to do each year?
I mean, it's really tough for me because I don't live near a stadium. I mean, the closest is Nationals Park, which is a little over 3 hours to get to. You know, I've got a wife and a child here that I've got to tend to. You know, I've got some, you know, other interests and things that are going on during the week and weekends here. So really, I'm only able to make it to maybe 3 or 4 games a year. Usually I try to make it to like a Nationals game or 2, an Orioles game. And then me and some friends, we every year we try to do a trip where we hit like 2 or 3 stadiums. So we'll do, like a couple years ago, we hit Tampa and Miami. You know, one year we did like the Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Toronto, you know, that whole Detroit, that whole cycle. So, so with those guys, each year we try to plan a trip and do that whole thing. So, but again, it's probably around 5 games a year, maybe, if I'm lucky.
Do you go to the games wearing multiple? You're changing shirts, you're changing team uniforms, hats. Do you do that stuff, or? Because I know Zach does it. I know myself. And I know all the other guys in Toronto do that too.
No, I'm not really big into that kind of thing, because I don't really do that. I don't really do toss-ups at all. I generally just go for balls off the bat in the crowd. That's kind of like, that's what I enjoy is just trying to catch home run balls. So I mean, because for me, I'm more into the experience and just the fun of trying to track down balls than actually collecting the balls, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like you know, in any given game, if I get 4 balls, you know, I don't really mind if I give a couple of them away and I like actually take, you know, 1 or 2 home. I'm more into just having fun out there and trying to catch the balls than I am really collecting.
Do you have a baseball background, or like what made you interested in baseball? Or
oh yeah. I mean, I played baseball from 5 years old up until all the way through high school. I tried to be a walk-on player in college, and I didn't make the team, but I ended up actually starting a club team at the college I was at. So I played club baseball through college, and then after college, I started playing adult softball. So I've been playing that for a number of years. So yeah, I mean, I played baseball my whole life. I've also done coaching. I coached 4 years at a private school, baseball. So yeah, I mean, I'm a huge baseball guy.
No, what about you? How is baseball like for you in your life?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I used to play a little bit, like probably from the time I was like 11 to 15. I kind of stopped playing, but I've always been watching, and I'm always into the the stats and all the probabilities and chances of stuff happening in baseball. So more of on an analytical side rather than playing, which is really why it intrigued me. Of if I get a ball, I'm outsmarting every single person in the stadium to get that single ball. So that's what pretty much got me into it. More the analytics of everything. How about you?
For me, I played softball for 2 years. Big baseball. Grandparents were big in baseball. So I ended up, I think I was 10 or 11 when I first started to play softball for 2 years. Transitioned to hardball. Played double A, triple A growing up. Moved back to house league. Didn't want the whole politics that we have here in the upper competitive travel teams. Just wanted to go have fun.
Nice.
I've umpired for 7 years, so I really like taking courses on the game, understand the rules and all that. So going to major league games too. That's like my fix. I'm not umpiring anymore, so that's like my baseball fix for the summer. Also, I've noticed that last year especially, I view umpires differently now than I did before because I've been through and I know what it's like and I know what they're going through. I don't give them as much hassle as a lot of fans do when calls are made because I realize how hard it actually is. I know it's different from them to kids, but it just things happen so quickly and it's judgment. You think you see one thing and you react that way, so you call it that way even though you're not always right. That's why personally I get the whole you want to get the game right and you want to get the call right, but I kind of don't really know if I like the review because it takes away human error and it takes away the whole umpires and takes away their I feel knowledge of the game even though they're wrong, even though they're going to be wrong. But I do understand the whole side of wanting to get it right and the call right so for the integrity of the game. How did you come up with Alan? How did you come up with the whole idea of Ballhawk Fest, and what is the purpose of it? Like, what was your intention for it? What were you trying to get out of it? What are you trying to do with it?
Yeah, this was not really my idea from the beginning. The idea originated with a guy named Matt Purcell in Baltimore. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Matt Herschel, but actually a couple years after we started Ballhawk Fest, Matt Herschel was tragically killed by a car in the Baltimore area. He lived downtown, and he actually got hit by a car that ran off the road in Baltimore. But he was a ball hog from Baltimore, and he came up with this idea. He just messaged me and said, "Hey, what do you think about the idea of getting a bunch of us together at a stadium?" And we just kind of bounced ideas off each other for a while, and came up with the idea of Ballhawk Fest, and decided on the first one to be in Baltimore, and picked a date, and just started promoting it, and got a fair amount of interest, and printed up the T-shirts, and everybody showed up, and had a really good time with it, and just kind of went from there. And pretty much everybody that was there the first year said, "Hey, let's try to do this another year." And so we just kept it going, and it's gotten to be a pretty big thing.
I know what's intrigued me to Ballhawk Fest and why I wanted it so badly here in Toronto. I'll say why after, but Noah, going over to you, what's your thoughts on Ballhawk Fest? Like, what intrigued you to Ballhawk Fest?
Well, I just think it's really, the idea is really cool of having a bunch of ball hawks at the same stadium, ball hawking at the same time, as well as playing softball together and having like a full day. So I thought like, hey, this seems like it'd be a really fun thing to bring to Toronto. So then I decided, hey, let's make a proposal, and the rest is history, I guess, as they say. What about you?
For me, just the whole idea of meeting people from, I guess, outside of the country, other people in Toronto who like to do what I do. Just trying to, I guess, get more involved in the whole ball hawking community, especially being 1 year in it, seeing how much people enjoy it. I guess for me, it's just whole meeting people. And if it comes to Toronto, I figure, yeah, I can attend and meet people. If it was San Diego or Chicago, I might have made more of an effort than Citi Field because I was there last year. But I'm glad it's here in Toronto, and I get to meet new people and interact. And I'm pretty sure I know you've been to. I'm pretty sure you've been to Majority Island or all of them, and the lifelong friends that you make, I guess, at them. I assume they stick. You come back, you meet them. It's like you've known each other for a long time. I don't know how the bonds are. I guess I get to see that this year. I'm assuming the bonds are pretty tight afterwards.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're definitely taking things beyond just a face on a website, to where you actually spend time with people, get to know them, get to know even what their interests are outside of baseball. Almost everybody that has attended Ballhawk Fest, I've got their number on my phone and text message fairly regularly with a lot of them. So it's definitely something where you can really build some good relationships with people and build some good friendships.
That's exactly why I wanted here so bad, to try and expand that and meet new people. And I would say, Noah, you probably are the same way too, or
yeah, same goes for me. Like, I think it'll be cool to meet a lot of people from like places that I haven't met people from before, I guess. So it'll be, and also the fact that we all share the same interest will really be something that brings us all together.
So now I'm just going to talk about our plans. I know we kind of like hinted at it, and Noah's mentioned it too.
Yeah.
So for the softball, we're thinking of doing it at Christie Pitts. I don't know. Have you heard of Christie Pitts, Alan? Or
no, I don't know anything about. I mean, I've looked at it on Google Maps and the stuff you guys have sent me, but outside of that, I don't know any fields in the Toronto area.
Okay, so basically, we have our major league team, the Blue Jays.
Yes.
So we actually have two Toronto baseball teams. So it's the Blue Jays are the MLB team, and then we have a league which is not really the minors or like AAA affiliate. They're not associated with any MLB team. They're not a AAA, AA team. They're called the Inter-County League. They play only in Ontario, and this is where it is a professional league. It's a lot of like retired players. So I've heard Paul Spajoric, an ex-Blue Jay, has played actually with this team. They're the Toronto Maple Leafs. So they play about 3 games a week and two home games. I think home games are Sunday and Wednesdays. So it's their diamond basically of the Inter-County Toronto Maple Leafs. That is where they play out of. Outside, it's like down a steep hill from what I've seen. So that's basically the history of Christie Pitts. So it is a professional style diamond of some sort. You can go there, show up on a Sunday, watch the game. It's free. I do think they come around asking for a donation from what I've heard, but there's no tickets to go. So that's like the general background of Christie Pitts and our, I guess, Toronto Maple Leaf team and where they play.
Okay. Wow. I did not realize that there was such a legit team actually playing on this field.
Yeah, they've been there since 1969.
Yeah, I didn't know the year, but I knew it's been around for a while, and they used to have some really good teams. So.
Okay. And so there is some availability though on the days.
Fridays they don't play home games. I know I looked into it. They play Sundays home games and Wednesday home games. I think they're Tuesday.
And their season ends like 2 weeks after, like 2 weeks before Ballhawk Fest. So there's nothing to worry about there.
So I know
we'll just have to get a permit, which shouldn't be too hard because you're allowed to, and then we'll be good to go.
But yeah, no, we made sure that the date was fine where they wouldn't be playing.
Yeah.
Also, it's right on a subway line, so it's easy access. Yeah. It's like a 5-minute walk around the block. It's not hard to get to. I know Noah and I will make sure to get anyone directions that they need. After that, I think we've heard like a Jack Astor's. I don't know if there's Jack Astor's in the States. I think it's like an Applebee's or something.
It's similar to Applebee's, I think.
I think at Dundas, is that Dundas Square, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is like the heart of Toronto area. I don't know what kind of food do you guys usually eat, or what do most people like that you've seen?
We've always just done some, like pizza place or sandwiches. Nothing. We just try to find a place that has a good atmosphere with where you can reserve a table, a big section of it. Um, we've never actually had it at a place where a restaurant has let us reserve like a private room. If you could pull off that, that would be cool. Where you could, if they could have a room in the back or something where you could go and have it to yourself. We've never been able to pull that off, but we at least try to have it somewhere where we can have a few tables all together, and we're able to usually we do awards like from the last season, like hand out the last season's Ballhawk of the Year and stuff like that. If those guys are there to accept it, and then another thing we've done in the past. Well, I guess we didn't do it last year, but the 2 previous years is we did like a prize giveaway where everybody picked a number out of the hat, and then we had a bag full of prizes, and if you got number 1, you got first pick of prizes, number 2, et cetera down the line. So that's kind of a cool thing. You do something similar.
Justin, so I have the TTC map just for reference where everything is. The Rogers Center, obviously, as many people know, it's at Union Station, probably just around here. It's a 10-minute walk from Union Station. The Jack Astors that we're thinking about going to would be at right here.
No, Dundas.
And then the what? Oh yeah, Dundas. Never mind. At Dundas here, and then the baseball field is right here at Christie. So everything's really easy accessible by subway, so there should be no issues there.
Yeah, that looks perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a backup option for the field in case it falls through, or for some reason?
There are other options. Not many others have really good fences, so that's was like I was looking for a stadium that you could actually hit home runs on.
If we have to, we can always make like a line, like the home run wall.
Yeah, like let me just see.
Like we can always say if it passes this point in the air, then try to estimate, say, 300 feet or so, or 350.
And another thing to keep in mind is we've always had it on a softball field instead of a baseball field. So that's another thing. If you're only looking at baseball fields, try to look at softball fields too, because those softball fields tend to be about 300 all the way around, which is kind of a good distance to hit home run.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this one that we were thinking of is 330 to center and then 300 down the line. So not too much bigger though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and just the quality of that field you guys picked out. I mean, even if it was it was a little bit difficult to hit home runs, I would do it there if you can, just because the quality of it.
Yeah. I think they don't start accepting permits for it until I think April. So right when they open it up, we're gonna try and book that day.
Okay.
So yeah. Noah, do you want? I'm just gonna before I get into the actual game and the fan fest festivities, because you actually attended one. Before you talk about that, I'm just gonna. I know we put out a commercial that Noah created. And I don't know, for those of you that don't know, I don't know if that's hard to see. That's the official Ballhawk logo that we're using, thanks to Boog. Is it Boog or Bog?
Boog.
Yeah.
Boog, okay. So thanks to Boog for creating it for us. Much appreciated. Appreciated. We like it. So that's...
There it is.
Okay.
There is the logo.
Sorry, go back to it?
Oh, right. One second.
I didn't know you can screenshot my
What?
computer.
No, I'm not. I'm screen sharing just my background.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I really like the logo.
Yeah. Yeah, no, do you want to talk about the whole Fan Fest idea? Because I've never been to it. You were actually...
Yeah, so basically what the Jays have been doing for a few years now is every Friday home game in July and August, they'll typically have a pregame like concert sort of thing outside the stadium. And I guess throughout the years they've been opening those two gates that it's at 4:30. And I went to a game last year. I forget who was it against. I don't remember who it was against, but I remember I was there a little bit early. I was there probably around 5 o'clock. I went to the gates because I was just walking around the stadium because I thought the gates would open at 5:30 like normal time. But then I see people inside the stadium, so I walk around the entire stadium. Then I get to gate 10 and 11, and ask them. I said, "What time did these gates open?" They said 4:30. Like, really? All right, so I can get it now though. It's 5 o'clock, right? Yeah. So I go in, and there was like pretty much not even half. Like there was less than half the normal amount of people inside than usual BP. It was like you had so much running room. It was perfect. I ended up getting 2 baseballs during that half an hour before it was 5:30, and then after that, I think I got another 3. So it really helped my totals for the day.
So we plan to be there at like 3:45, 4 o'clock to get in as early as possible.
At 4:30 when gates open.
Yeah, so you do get to see you saw Jay's practice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to see like I think half an hour of Jay's BP.
So normally we don't get to see Jays BP right when they open it at 5:30. The Jays run off the field. Weekends are exception. So this is the only time where you get that extra hour to see Jays BP to catch more baseballs.
Yeah.
So.
And since the Jays are a big home run team, there's tons of available home runs to catch, and with less competition, it's perfect.
Yeah, and I think that's the big selling point. I think that's going to get people to come out there is a lot of people are going to be interested in getting in early for some extra BP.
I know Rogers Center is deemed as a hard place. I've been okay with it. No, I know you've done really well.
I've done really well there.
Hopefully, the extra hour will help out.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you find the staff strict there? I've been fine. I haven't had any issues.
It depends. It really depends on the person because I've had experiences where they're really nice. Like this one girl, like I was standing behind the bullpen and she's like, "Hey, you got to go to your seats now." I'm just like, I just want to watch 5 more minutes of the guy warming up, and then because I wanted to try and get a ball, and then she let me, and then I got a ball. So like, it depends who you meet. Some of them try and be like the tough guy, and they try and like get you to leave if you're not supposed to be there, but also some of them are really nice, so they don't care. No, it just depends, and it also depends how you are to them. Like if you're nice, saying you're not going to cause any trouble, usually they don't care.
Yeah, I've never had a bad overall experience either. The only thing that we found out or we've heard is there's no devices, no retrievers are allowed. So if there is an outfield gap right around between the bullpen and the first row in the outfield. So some balls do land in there, but there are no. You're not allowed a retriever, so that's the only downfall with the stadium. But otherwise, the staff is good.
But most home runs land in like the first and second row anyway. So if you're there,
or the bullpen. Well, you can't even put a device into the bullpen either. So, but that's the only downfall. I know every stadium has their issues too, so it's not how much of it. Alan, out of the stadiums that you've been to, do you have favorites? Is there ones that you like going to more than others? Why?
I mean, Camden Yards has always been my favorite. I mean, that was.
I think we've heard that too, right? From Zach.
Yeah, everyone likes that place.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up, going to Camden Yards is my closest stadium. So I've always loved Camden Yards. So I mean, that's pretty much my favorite. I really like Petco Park, which I went to last year. I was at the All-Star game. Petco Park was great. PNC Park is another great one. So I'd say those 3 are my top 3: Camden Yards, Petco Park, and PNC. I really like the look of AT&T Park, but I've never been there. So I'd like to check that out. And then I do like the old stadiums like Fenway and Wrigley. I like both of those a lot too, so I would put those up there as well. And I've been to over 20 stadiums, so I've got a good deal of. I've been around a good deal of the stadiums in the league.
No, do you want to let Alan know where you've been, or because I know it's discussed in one of our videos, but
yeah, I've been to 5 stadiums, I believe: Toronto, Cleveland, Boston, and then both New York. So 5 stadiums. I only really ball hawked at Toronto, so I have no like ball hawking experience to speak of at the other ones. I wish I did, because those ones are not terrible for ball hawking. Like Cleveland's pretty good, Yankee Stadium's all right. So, but I went before I was even interested in it, so I guess I missed out.
I know for myself, I've been to old Yankee Stadium. I went probably 10 or so years ago with my grandparents. So ball hockey wasn't really a thing back then. Last season, I went to New York with my parents on a little trip. My mom's never been, so we decided to take her out to New York. Luckily, while we were out there, the Mets were playing the Phillies in the second last home game of the year for them. So we took a ride over to Citi Field. So I saw Citi Field. Actually met Zach at that game. Ran into him. Knew he was going to be there. Said hi. Talked to him for a bit. Didn't get anything out there. Apparently, it was one of the worst BPs I've ever seen. It was half of the Phillies, no Mets. And I know Zach's mentioned that too about that specific day. But I personally, I loved Citi Field. To me, it felt open. But it's hard, as most people know.
Yeah.
But I liked how it was spacious and airy. But unlike the Rogers Center, I feel the only thing I don't like is how closed in it feels. But also with the Rogers Center, I love the flight deck area. Where fans,
that's pretty cool.
That's to me is the best place to if you want to go and enjoy a game, have a beer. Because it's the only standing room in the stadium. The rules there aren't strict, but most balls don't go out there, so that's the only downfall. The home run balls do go out there, but it's more of a social gathering atmosphere out there, and that's brand new too. I like the whole idea of the hotels out in center field. I think that's pretty cool how they built the hotel.
Some of the players will try and throw the ball to people up there. It's pretty cool.
Unfortunately, I haven't seen anyone I go. A lot of them will hit the window and come back down and land.
It was funny. I went to a game. It was against the Padres, and they were throwing it up. And on the ricochet, I nearly caught it on because I was looking up, and I just missed it as it came down, which would have been pretty cool.
I know.
But oh well.
Have you guys seen the video Zach put out there?
Yeah, I saw that a while ago. He caught a ball in the hotel. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's like his only video, pretty much, from Toronto.
His 5,000 ball too is on.
Yeah, that one as well.
So, yeah, I think that's about it. So that's about it for now. If you have any questions, you can tweet at Alan at MyGameballs. Tweet at Noah Gilberto 19 and myself Justin Swartz 63. If you have any questions about ball hawking or Ballhawk Fest. If you like, please like the comment if you like it, and please leave a comment and we'll answer your questions back. If I don't know it, I'll let Noah know. If he doesn't know, I'll forward it to Alan. So we will get back to you with your questions. So thank you very much for watching, and we hope you enjoyed our information about ball hawking, how we all got involved, some background history on Alan and his ball hawking and baseball life and experience, and our plans for this upcoming Ballhawk Fest. Things can change. The only thing we might change is the dinner place, and maybe the field. We're hoping to keep the field, but we'll keep you all up to date. But that is our general plan of what it is and what Ballhawk Fest is and Blue Jays Fan Fest. So thank you for watching, and we hope you liked it.